Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary, hello and welcome. It's me, Kristie, here on the Monday, and we're gonna play some Sunless Skies. And I want to talk real quick about how I got to this point. I managed to put myself into a bad headspace in terms of streaming because I want to. Like, in our future, Silksong is there. Silksong is in our future. That's for definite. The second it becomes available, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it on stream for all of y'all. You're thirsty for it. I'm hungry for it. It's a whole meal. The thing about it is that my brain decided, well, since that's in our future, we can't start a long thing, because what if it drops next week and we have to just put it on the shelf? And it just got me to playing like one-offs and two-offs, and that was starting to drain on me. I wanted to do something else. So I broke that by bringing up a poll on Mastodon, which Sunless Skies won of what I should play next. All of this is to say that none of us, much like the second coming of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, none of us knows when Silksong will be here. But we have to live our lives for the now and can't look forward to that. So I'm just going to keep playing games like normal, and if Silksong drops with no more than a week notice, which I'm certain it won't, we'll put whatever we're playing on the shelf, and then when we'll play Silksong, and then when it's done, we'll take it off the shelf and finish whatever that is. So, dropping into Sunless Skies, let me click some buttons. Why is that? Oh, that's interesting. So, hey Bad Road, hey Alma, hi Andy, hey Katie. Thank you all for joining up. So, Sunless Skies, which is still booting, which is why we're still on this screen, is a action-y, adventure-y game. It's kind of difficult to parse to put down what genre it's in. Action adventure is probably the best I can do for you. Set in the Fallen London universe, and I really like the Fallen London universe. We'll talk about why later. But it's definitely a cosmic horror game. So this game has some descriptions of blood and gore, violence and death. None of it is shown very explicitly. There's not jump scares or anything like that, but there are some more graphic descriptions and some bad things to see. So there's your content warning. Atmospheric adventure is very good, but I feel like we move around a bit. I feel like I want to throw the word action in there because some of the things are still like very combat-y. If you know Fallen London, this is one possible future. I would go with action trading sim RPG. That certainly is everything. So we're just going to hit new game. We're going to play a legacy campaign, which means if we die, we can only start with a new captain. We can't just load an old save. We are going to turn on some stuff, because I just want to experience the story of this game, and I don't necessarily want to get bogged down in the day-to-day trading. So we're doing this on easy mode. If you don't know Fallen London, don't worry. It knows you. It's very good. Also terrifying. Also good because it's terrifying. Dodging is crucial to survival in combat. That's good to know. Maybe that was my problem the first time I tried to play this game. I didn't dodge enough. Log of Her Majesty's Locomotive of the Orphean, March 14th, 1905. Our expedition to the domains of the dead has been eventful. The Orphean is damaged and in grievous need of repairs and supplies. We are returning in haste to the Reach, where I hope to make port at New Winchester. May God be with us, for 1,000 deaths wait in the sky. Final entry of Captain Amelia Charity Whitlock, DCM, written shortly before her death. Yeah, it's not an auspicious start to this game. We're not, Oh, here we are. Hit us. It's WASD, W is forward, S is backwards, A and D turn us left and right with kind of tank controls. You've returned to the Reach. This is March 14th, 1905. You've returned to the Reach, an untamed, sunless span of the heavens. London's new frontier, a celestial garden run wild. The setting is as close as you can get to tone deaf while still being directly and perfectly on tone. Oh, no, you didn't want me to go this way, apparently. That's a bad way to go. Go this other way. We're flying a cute little choo-choo train, by the way. I mean, it's wrecked currently. But, we can dodge left. And dodge right. Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. Your locomotive is damaged, and Captain Whitlock badly wounded. Whom amongst us isn't driving a cute little choo-choo train? Oh, that's a good point. Oh, who among us isn't wrecked currently? That makes more sense. As first officer, the crew look to you. The nearest station is in New Winchester. Can you get the Orpheum there safely? Erp. Okay, had a bit of a hang-up right there, but it's fine apparently. Press R to scavenge. Much to the relief of your stokers, you find a barrel of fuel amidst the detritus. A wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge her for repairs, a crewman suggests. Wreck of the Ozymandias. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. Two of them are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock even have in the Blue Kingdom, anyway? What the devil did we trespass on in the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now is not the time. Let's leap across to the wreck. Seems dangerous. You jump. Your stomach lurches with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Then your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias. Your leather-gloved hands fumble for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch and you clamber inside. How did they destroy the sun? Via rap battle, as is tradition. Yeah, I'll buy that. Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow, paneled passages. You make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. The bulkhead has been mangled inward by well-aimed barrage. We can clear the obstruction away, or we can lead our party on a more precarious path. One of them tests our veils, the other one tests our iron. Yes. What do we feel like? Do we feel like punching our way through, or do we feel like leading our whole party, like, outside? Go brawn? Alright. As you strain against the stubborn steel, you remember an event from a year ago. A boiler explosion had trapped an engineer under a tangle of plating and pipework. The captain was the first on the scene, you were second. Together, you managed to pry the wreckage upwards enough for you to crawl beneath it, while the captain braced the bar across her back. By all means, take your time, she grunted as you dragged the engineer out. Back in the present, the twisted bulkhead yields. Your companions clear the exposed rubble away. The way is clear. Muscle Sorceress casts Punch. You've reached the Ozymandias' hold, a ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully, somewhere amidst the detritus, you can find parts to repair the Orpheon and restock your stores. Conduct a thorough search. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to the Orpheon. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. "Oh!" cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered bird cage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furred opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. 14 supplies, plus 15 hull. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchange nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies and discovered some useful equipment. A gun that could be mounted on your locomotive, and an educated bat. Yes, let's mount the Jerusalem cannon on the Orpheon. The Jerusalem fires single shells to good range, more or less accurately. You order 2 of your party to get it back on board the vessel and fit it immediately. Liberate a diffident bat and employ it as a scout. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. Oh no, this isn't the thick bat. This is the regular bat. You don't want to waste the thick bat. We can press on to the engine room, see what's in there. The bat haggles? Yeah. It's a talking bat. I don't know why you're surprised. The wreck of the Ozymandias screeches as its metal buckles and tears. You press on through the shuddering corridors, searching frantically for the engine room. Send a smaller party ahead to retrieve the fuel. Go yourself and conduct a hasty search. One tests our heart, one tests our mirrors. It's about a coin flip either way. Or we could just go back. Let's go myself and not put our crew in danger. Hey, you've gained 2 more fuel. The wreck's engines are choked with old ash. You search swiftly, aware of every creak in the bulkhead, every tremble that runs through the dead locomotive. Finding several sacks of coal, you drag them to an exterior hatch and fling them across to the Orpheon before leaping after them. Unshackling your locomotive from the Ozymandias, you stoke your engines and steam away, restocked, refueled, repaired, and rearmed. Bat gotta make a living? Yeah. Listen, Bat's gotta eat too. You can press F to send out your scout, which I will remind you is a bat. It costs supplies, which is this number here, 5. You're gonna watch it go down a little bit. It doesn't cost a whole supplies, but it does take a little bit off. Oh, we can disable this advice. Your scout reports a successful expedition. You can see something over here, which our legend says is a station. That sounds good. Primary fire is left bumper, or left click, rather. Ahem. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies in bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. But she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Inquire after the captain's injuries, approach the bedside. We seemed pretty familiar with the captain. Let's just go ahead and approach the bedside. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The Orpheon will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burned meat breath. Promise. She breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker, but her request little more than a gasp. Promise me one last service. Promise. We can promise her we will obey her last command. We will make no promise and tell her to rest. We can pull the hell away, or we can demand to know why she took the Orphean to the Blue Kingdom, which apparently didn't fucking go well. I missed the premise, but this is kind of surreal. You don't know the premise yet, is the thing. I wanted to talk about this after we get to the station and through the tutorial section. But the game wants to drop you in media res without a real idea of what's happening. We're gonna promise her because I like our captain. She seems fine. I don't know why she did what she did, but that sucks. She sinks back, relieved. All in my will, she gasps. Yeah, better. She breaks off as the sigils burned into her bones flare, glowing cherry red through her flesh and skin. Better captain than I. The effort exhausts her. She sinks back into the scorched pillows in a twisting, frantic fever. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with yeah, that's the thing we just said. Let's take our leave. We have an engine to command. You leave the cabin and the scorched stink of its air behind and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you'd like, and the captain hasn't long left. Oh, okay. We're just gonna blow up these down there. We have an overheat meter on our gun down there at the center bottom. And apparently there's some sort of, what does that say? Reach? Marauder, probably. Who wants our bones? We're not gonna let it have our bones. Yeah, you just go ahead and get stuck right there, and I'm gonna broadside you to death. Thanks, bud. Just gonna take your stuff. We don't need to strip it for repairs. You approach the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. Raid the remains. You now have 39 sovereigns. Your boarding party returns with its wallets, watches, cufflinks, lockets, and keepsakes. You store them in the safe to be pawned when, or if, you make it back to port. Swing around real quick. This is clearly after we've seen some things and done some stuff, yeah. I agree, it was very nice for that Marauder to just kind of, like, stay there and just get absolutely boned by this discount cannon. A distant clang of engine yards, an accretion of smog on the windows. New Winchester, a new port. The crew are relieved to see land, perhaps unwisely. And we dock. You coast into the bustle, the din and soot of Wolseley Station. It is clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you been pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. Must speak with you, Captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities? Look to the Orphean's doctor. He has just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hands, and he lowers his eyes. Song of Victory can only mean one thing to me. I do like the idea of we blow a ship out of the sky, and then some asshole behind us just goes da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orphean itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that unfortunately Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad. Very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, and the station authority... I put too much English on that. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority require their answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It'll be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Can we begin? Let's begin. Let's make our character. So, I I'm gonna ask y'all's input very heavily while creating our character and doing level ups and stuff, because I really like the way it works, and I've already, like, made my decisions that I made the first time I played through this, and I want to see what other decisions will do for us. But I want to talk a little bit about the setting before we move on. So this is a game set in the Fallen London universe, like Katie's been saying. Fallen London is absolutely a cosmic horror eldritch thing that does not draw on Lovecraft at all, which I like a lot. The idea behind cosmic horror, the thing that makes it interesting, is the idea that there are things that you perceive to be fundamental about the world that simply aren't, or are themselves functions of something that you can't possibly conceive of. And that's a really cool and interesting idea, and the problem with it is the guy most well known for it, H.P. Lovecraft, decided that the things that were fundamental to the world that should never be questioned were the fact that white people were better than everyone else. So it makes it really hard to play in the space. But Fallen London is very explicitly, as you're going to see as we build our character, queer-friendly, proletariat-friendly. It's these are good people making this game. And the fact that it doesn't even, like, oh, it's not Cthulhu, it's Boothulu. They made their whole own, like, pantheon of horrors, and it's wonderful. So let's jump into creating our captain. What is our background? Were we a street urchin? No parents, no laws, no masters, but also no roof over your head, no money, and often no dinner. Freedom comes at a price. Soldier, a poet, an academic. We have more. A priest, a Zaylor, spelt with a Z because it's a reference to Sunless Sea, which was the previous game in this series, about the sailors of the Undersea, which was a giant ocean below the crust of the earth. A ministry auditor. For a time you served at the Ministry of Public Decency, which has become Her Majesty's preferred instrument. Or a revolutionary. The world is broken, one way for the rich and another for the poor. You decided to do something about it. So which of these jumps out to y'all? We're not going to do a poll or anything, and I'm just going to look at what people are snapping off in chat, and if anything jumps out, then I think we're going with the last one. One of them jumps out to me in particular. Okay, so normally I'd be 100% in on Revolutionary, but the Z in Sailor has won me over and has my vote. Sailor is an interesting path. So that's 2 on 2. I'm breaking this tie because I did Revolutionary my first time through, which of course I did. So let's see what Sailor will do for us. You will begin with High Iron, the skill of confronting and overcoming. You were a Z captain. Do you remember bats winging across the still black sea, the distant lights of London calling you home, salty prayers offered to heedless gods? It was a hard life, and often a short one, but you made your mark. How did we make our mark? Did we do a smuggle? Were we a great explorer? Or were we just a asshole merchant? Well, maybe not asshole, but a merchant. Katie says smuggle. So you'll notice that each of these has, like, a statistic appended to it. I am actually not interested in that. What I want to do is build our character's story without much heed for min-maxing our gameplay. People are saying smuggling. In fact, Katie is saying smuggling, which is much better. So sure, let's smuggle. Her Majesty's Navy had a great many opinions on what should and shouldn't be sold in her territories. Her own opinions were rather different, and this is going to give us Veils, the skill of deceiving and evading, and affiliates us with villainy. Excuse me. Create your captain. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? This is also interesting. So this is letting us decide what our win condition is, and each of these plays a little differently. There's wealth, which is just we make a bunch of money, we buy a great big house, we fill it with all our friends, and we retire fat and happy. Fame is a little bit harder because it's not based purely on monetary value. We also have to go out and do stuff. And the truth is the hard mode that drills deep down into the world building. And the end parts of it are super tough, and I do not want to do it. So, I will leave this as an exercise to the to people who want to play this game on their own time. So do we want to try for wealth or fame? Can you do piracy? I mean, we're going to be doing piracy just kind of generally. We're a sky captain, and there's not a lot of rules governing sky captain. Piracy. Thank you, Bad Road. You're correct. You were correct, and I was wrong. My audio seems like it's ducked really hard. I think I might have turned it way down and not remembered to bring it back up. Let's talk about that later. We were a smuggler, so wealth seems pretty apropos. Sure, let's go with wealth. And here's us. So we have a bunch of different appearance options. I'm just going to random until I find one I like. I like this. Can we give you a sailor hat? Yeah, we can give you a sailor hat. There we go. And in the game, no one refers to us by pronouns. They use our term of address. So it neatly skips over that little piece. Although, and the reason that I thought to put this on my poll is I saw a screenshot from the original Fallen London, which is a text-based browser game, where when you are creating your character, you are asked, do you identify as a male, a female, or there are people walking around with squid heads. Why are you concerned about this right now? Which is fantastic. What is our term of address? Captain, probably? Let's go with captain, because we were a boat captain and now we're a sky captain. We're a sky captain in the world of tomorrow. Thank you, Katie. We're technically in the past, but it's so steampunk that it doesn't actually matter. Oh, you changed your term of address to F. I like Covington. Captain Covington? That sound good? Yeah. I really want to play Fallen London, the text RPG. Yeah, it is just on browser, and it is absolutely free. I think there's a Android version too, although I have trouble finding it the last time I tried. Maybe they took it down? I don't know. But it is still available. So here's our captain. I am excited to see what this is going to do for us. Let's start game. I don't have a Google account attached to my phone right now. Got you. The reading of the will. 3 weeks had passed. This morning, Captain Whitlick received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit, with a handful of her relatives, in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Listen to the end. True to her word. In a final codicil, the notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orpheon was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, gray eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orpheon's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at a time of your choosing, transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card. "And deposit it there. You are not to look inside." Gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orphean is yours. We have our first quest, Captain Whitlock's Legacy. You can investigate the black box at New Winchester. You could take the box to London as requested, or you could just sell it and be done. We've also gained 100 sovereigns, which is not bad. Certainly not unsellable. I don't like the sound of Necropolis train. It's better than it sounds like. Let me get into settings real quick. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's turn these up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's what a game sounds like. That's a game right there. It's got noises and background, some music maybe. Video games. Let me know if it's too loud. Oh, I super did just hit quit, huh? Yep. Oh, wow, I'm glad I'm not on display capture. Hey, you remember how I said I had one porn background? It'll always be there. The exact time. We're just gonna bring Sunless Skies back up. It'll be okay. I hope I don't have to redo that tutorial. I think it auto-saved. So this is a good time to do this. It is okay, and it is art. Don't know if I want this to be in a Twitch preview window, though. There it is. So, like Bad Rose was saying, the game wants you to... It kind of dumps you into its world, and... Hey, music. That sounds a little too loud. I'm gonna turn it down. And hope I won't hit, And hope I won't hit the bad button again that makes the game go away. Turn all of this down a touch. Back. Okay. Like, even if you've played Sunless Skies, which I had, this game doesn't have too much carryover from one to the other. Some of the mechanics are the same, but the world is completely different. And it's just got a lot going for it. It wants you to piece together its world. Oh good, it didn't. We're here. It wants you to piece together what's happening a little bit at a time. Until you're starting to get a much bigger picture. It took me about a month of playing, I think. Well, not that long. To get a handle on the chain of events that got us to here. I keep forgetting that AMD fucked up how temps are, so I've been looking at the CTL temp rather than die temp this whole time. Whoops. So here we are on Wolseley Station. We can explore the city, why not? Let's learn about trading. Successful skyfarers fund their expeditions by dabbling in trade. Inquire whether there are any good trading opportunities available. A porter at the station advises you to visit the nearby pub, The Promise of Days, and talk to the seasoned captains there. They keep their ears to the ground. They'll know about an opportunity or two. Visiting the Promise of Days is one of the options when exploring the city. Old pistons gleam on the walls. The shelves are covered with mementos from across the sky. Clientele raise their voices to be heard above the comforting clamor of the adjacent engine yards. Let's introduce ourselves to those seasoned captains. 4 are gathered at their usual table. The masked citizen, a libertine polymath, and the pioneer of neo-nocturnal artistic school. The bedeviled didact, a scholar haunted by his discoveries. The plucky baroness, explorer, collector, philatelist. And a spatchcocker Meg, who hunts monsters. Of course, everything out here is jolly dangerous, says the baroness. Few risk the skies, no news of distant ports is valuable. Collect port reports from the places you visit and deliver them to Victory Hall or the company house. The more you turn in at once, the more they'll pay. Look for other opportunities on the way, advises the masked citizen. Passengers who want transport, rich men in need of bloody work, etc. A libertine polymath, yes. There is a comma there. I fucked it up when I was saying it because I kind of doofed it. But the masked citizen is a libertine and a polymath and a pioneer of the neo-nocturnal artistic school. So, good for them, I suppose. Ask them how to make your fortune through trade. Ah, the didact says, fiddling with his innumerable talismans. An essential topic. Meg slides you a school, and the captain shuffle around you to make room. The masked citizen buys you a drink of their own invention. It is violet and foggy. The plucky baroness gives you a brisk, encouraging grin. Ask away. How can you buy and sell goods? So a lot of this is... I'm going to jump over it. But the short version, as it is in most games about trading, is you go to a port, they have things for sale, you can buy them, and then you take them to somewhere where they're needed, and they'll give you money for them. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of a libertine polymath. I mean, they're here for you. How do you feel about pet rats? Because they've got that too. Trading opportunity. Ask them if they know of a good prospect available. The host at Magdalen's needs an urgent delivery of seeds, paying a pretty penny too. If I were you, I'd get to the bazaar straight away. Put my mark against it. Meg grunts. A broker in Port Avon is selling cheap seeds. Chirpy chap, God knows why. His face looks like it's been pushed through a mangle. An opportunity. Port Avon lies to the northeast-southwest of New Winchester, and Magdalen's lies to the northwest of New Winchester. Northwest. Accept this prospect from the bazaar if you haven't already, then buy seeds from the bazaar in Port Avon and sell them at Magdalen's. Good to know. Ask how to expand the prospects and bargains available to you. It ain't who you is, it's who you know, innit? Nepotism. Quite, the masked citizen remarks. The wider your circles, the more advantageous the opportunities that will present themselves. A wise captain makes the most of them. As your captain increases in level, your affiliations increase. In Academe, Bohemia, the establishment, and villainy, they unlock new, more rewarding bargains and prospects. Affiliations also allow your next captain to inherit certain resources should the unthinkable happen. Spoiler, the unthinkable will probably happen. It's actually quite thinkable. So let's do that fucking thing, I guess. We go to the shop. We were told to go to the bazaar. Seeds from Magdalen. Select this prospect to claim it. Good. There's this other thing. I don't want to do that yet. Let's just do the tutorial one. So we're going to the southwest, I think? Hang on. To the southwest of New Winchester. Magdalen's is to the northwest of New Winchester. New Winchester, you'll notice on our chart, is dead center. So it's our stable point. The map, by the way, changes every time you start a new game. Not every time your captain dies and you start with a new captain, but every time you click new game, it makes the world be different. So all of my knowledge that I carefully hoarded about where I need to be in order to make stuff happen, that's out the fucking window. So let's try and find Port Avon. Every time your captain dies, listen. It's rough out here in the unthinkable heavens. Sometimes stuff happens. Here in Scamp's Narrow, you could get jumped by a couple of marauders, and they'll send you straight to Davy Jones' Skylocker, trying to figure out how to do this one. But, yeah. Sometimes you die, and then you start again. There are certain things that carry over between, like, captain deaths, and there are certain things that don't. Which is good. It's a nice way to restart yourself. We should be using our bat friend, I think. Let's see what our bat friend has to say. Your scout has reported a successful expedition. That's probably it. That's southwest. That's almost perfectly southwest. Why, I'll bet 30 sovereigns that that's our good old Port Avon. The alleys of London twist and turn almost as though they were alive. Why should the sky be any different? A distant nebula shines on this place, its light as mellow as melted butter. Ruins claw the sky, the work of giants. Oh, there's the docking station. Hang on. Coming around. Hey, Port Avon. And we got a ding. We dinged a level. Good for us. We're making progress. The fuck are we buying? Seeds? Behold, a ruin of giants. Gargantuan blocks jigsaw together, furrowed with moss and whisperings with orchards. A bucolic village nestles amongst them. Smoke coils daintily from the chimneys. A leisurely game of cricket unfolds on the village green. We will disembark. An oily, black-faced... An oily-faced, black-haired girl waves your locomotive into position. Welcome to Port Avon, she calls as you disembark. A rich nod of scents greets you, leaves and wood smoke, enriched by an infrequent but pungent intrusion of goat. I apologize for that slip-up. Port Avon welcomes new visitors, but your novelty will wear off the more time you spend there. When you visit in future, you may need to bring something to keep them friendly. But we have 3 Port Avon welcome. I logged into Fallen London and forgot that I used to play browser text RPGs. Port Avon spills prettily across the selections of colossal drifting ruins. Its orchards bask in the evening gold lights of a distant nebula. Let's write a port report. We were told that's a quick way to make money. Were it not for talk of smugglers and sky beasts, you could easily confuse this place for a village and the world you left behind. It's quite peaceful here, apart from some fuss over a newspaper delivery. The villagers frown and change the subject when you ask about it. So let's go to the shops. We're buying seeds? They don't appear to have seeds. What about the bazaar? Here we go. An horticultural opportunity. A buoyant broker is selling sacks of verdant seeds. Is it 3? Do we need 3 for the quest? I think that's it. 3 sacks of verdant seeds at 25 sovereigns apiece. That's fine. So we can only carry so much stuff that's down here. We're now at 11 of 12 of our carrying capacity. And we have 8 of our possible max 10 crew members. We don't have a cow to trade. That's fine, we have money. Money can buy many cows. Let's look around a little bit. Recruit a repentant devil. He's looking for passage. I mean, he is repentant. Oh. He's repentant. There can be no harm. This will give you a signaler who will increase your iron by 2, veils by 6, and your affiliation academ by 1. But we need 100 gold to get him on our ship, and we do not have that. Someone has grafted brass wheels to the carcass of an old armoire and impaled its top with a jaunty damask umbrella. A man stands behind it, flesh and finery the colors of the dawn, shepherding customers through samplings of wines. Sweet wine, sour wine, subtle wines, and sinful spirits of every vintage, save, of course, the Hesperidian, the H-bomb cider. He gives a small, sad laugh. I know, because I looked. This is the only place with real apples, but even here that cider eludes me. He beckons you with a gloved hand. Ask him about the H-bomb cider. A rare vintage, unheard of and unseen since London. This merits investigation. Come here, come close and listen, you effervescent thing. I have a story. An associate of mine, he once gave me a sip of it. One golden drop to place under my tongue, and my life was changed. A carnivorous pleasure steeps in his voice as he speaks. I went back to that store immediately, of course, but the price was too much. And then, eventually, the dream drained away, and now I'm here, serving wine to drunks. His laughter is black and bitter, but the auroral sommelier gives you the address nonetheless, just in case. If you decide to risk the same grief, savor it for me. We have a new quest, so we can go try and find the H-bomb cider. Hey, so I'm on fallenlondon.com, and discuss your eggs with other players on the forums or Discord. That sounds interesting. Let's get this wagon train moving. Actually, let's level up since we got that. So, here's what I like about leveling up in Sunless Skies. Rather than just like hitting a button and making your strength go big, what you're doing is revealing a portion of your past and how that affects you. So these are some things that could have happened to us. We can have been scarred. We can have had a spell in prison. We can have had an interlude in red and gold, or we can be subject of a scandal. How do we feel about these? Gonna wait for the chat to jump in. Let's up this Mountain Dew Kickstarter. Not a sponsor. We wouldn't take your money. It was $1, and I deeply needed energy drink. Yeah. It tastes like it's sugar-free is the thing, which is ludicrous for something with the Mountain Dew branding on it. It actually pisses me off, but it tastes better than the other options I had available. Andy's saying scandal. No one else seems to have an opinion, so let's have a scandal. You were the gossip of London salons and the target of blistering editorials in the Gazette. Mad, they said. Bad, they said. Dangerous to know. Was the incident that exposed you to the buffeting... What was the incident that exposed you to the buffeting winds of public opinion? A torrid affair with secret letters, warm and yearning, furtive assignations where desires, among other things, could be unlaced. The reports were salacious. Or a parade of debauchery. Absinthe, wantonness, more absinthe, brawling, gambling, blasphemy, and slander. Absinthe and prisoners' honey. Prisoners' honey alone. Prisoners' honey in company. Is there a vice you haven't explored? It's possible. There are only so many hours in the day. I had an affair with a bat. What's prisoners' honey? It's this thing. No, I think I'm stopping there. It's this thing. We'll learn more about prisoners' honey later. It's not explicitly bad. But maybe you don't want to be on the prisoner's honey all the time. Yeah, absinthe is real. The prisoner's honey is an in-game thing. I do like affair with bat, though. So let's do that. What the fuck were we doing? We were taking the seeds from, here in Portvedon to Magdalene's, which is in the northwest of New Winchester. Northwest of New Winchester, not in. I know my cardinal directions, surely. That's something everyone knows about me. Good at cardinal directions. Northeast, southwest. So here's northwest. Then here's northwest, so it's in this kind of stripe here. Yeah, let's go back to New Winchester and go from there. Oop. Remember when I was playing my summer car and had to figure out what directions are and how they work? Yeah. I have that literally every time someone, like, gives me a cardinal direction. I have to do, like, never eat soggy waffles in my mind so that I can remember which one's which. North and south I've got. East and west don't trigger for whatever reason. We're just gonna go right back the way we came. Nice and safe and boring, I'm sorry. Katie tells me that west kind of sounds like west. Which is true. The thing I said, it's not what she said. West sounds like left, is what she said. Which is also true. Now here's another ship. So not all ships want to murder us. This is a Tackety Scout. I wouldn't say they're our friend, but they're not trying to murder us actively right now. They have other stuff they do. So I'll be real, I really thought our airship was a car at first, but now it looks more like a train. It's absolutely a train. It's absolutely and explicitly a train. Which I like a lot. What keeps it up? Fuel. Wispy condensation trails across the sky, the ghosts of passing trains. Let's stop back into New Winchester and maybe let's go ahead and buy... Let's buy a supply and the fuel, just one of each. Just to make sure we're not, like, lost in terms of stuff we need. A scrubbed clerk begs a moment of your time. This is another thing that I like. This is a stylistic decision that games in this world has made, and I love it a lot. All characters are two descriptors, an adjective and a noun. So the scrubbed clerk, the incautious driver, the fastidious inspector. It gives you a good, solid look in on what that character is about with two words, and I really enjoy it. I represent Halliges, the banking house. I promise this will only take a moment of your unquestionably valuable time. He produces a folded contract with a flourish. We hear promising things about you, Captain. Very promising indeed. We would like to extend our services. We provide a secure solution for the storage of your assets, absolute discretion and steadfastness unto death and beyond. We require only a signature. The offer is entirely complimentary, I assure you. At Halliges, we measure ourselves by the quality of our clientele. This will unlock a bank vault, allowing you to store and withdraw items at any hub port. Super useful. Yes, please, and thank you. There, it is done. I am certain this represents the beginning of a long and warm relationship between ourselves and your lineage. May it endure. I bid you good day, Captain. I also beg you good day. Do you have a good day on you? I am short at the moment. You may access your bank at the central port of any region. Yeah. It's exactly what it sounds. We are going to... the bazaar? No, that's not it. Abraham's engineering. No, that's not either. Victoria Market? Here we go. Just one of each. Nice, it's not too expensive. Where are we at money-wise? Where's that information? Oh, it's up here. This is actually going to put us to, 4 sovereigns. But it's fine. We're about to make all this money back. We'll pull some out from tomorrow's. And northwest, so somewhere in this strip. Let's just go and see what happens. Oh, here's something. The Victory Hall, 57 experience gained. The Assembly, a coalition of independent-minded settlers, colloquially called Tacites, gather and argue here. Deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win the Tacites' favor. Yes. So, in each kind of area, there are two competing factions. The factions here are the Tacites, which are the settlers who have come here to try and make a life with the mining and monster hunting that is available to them in the Reach. And the company, I think, which is exactly what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and just drop off our Port Avon port report. Raised in the wake of the blockade of New Winchester, this magnificence of glass and steel houses the Colonial Assembly. Here, the representatives of the independent ports of the Reach gather and quarrel. Deliver your reports to the Endurate veteran. Her tireless exertions during the blockade earned her both a seat on the Assembly and enemies in London. She likes to keep abreast of events. This will influence the balance of power in the Reach in favor of the Tacites and the colonists seeking independence from London. She listens with a scowl. Well, I'd rather know than not, I suppose. Thank you for bringing this to me rather than the bloody stovepipes. I'll arrange a gratuity. Oh, hey, we got $100 off of that. Good. Oh, the stovepipes. Right, that's what they're called. Cool and good. Chat with the Endurance veteran. Her skin is brown and her hair is beginning to gray. She wears a heavy, unbuttoned coat. Metals gleam in the shadows behind its lapels. One half of her face is scarred from frostbite. She's enjoying a quiet cigarillo while her peers argue in the Chamber of Assembly. You talk for a while about life in the skies. When her cigarillo is just a stub, she says, I'd be grateful to hear reports of your travels, Captain. I suspect all manner of strife and imprudence is going to kick off in the foreseeable. I mean to be ready for it. That Billy Lurk? I don't know who Billy Lurk is. It's the, it's our good friend, the Endurant veteran. She's absolutely not going to take any of your nonsense. Yeah, let's get back on the road. Billy Lurk from Dishonored 2, and I see where you're getting at. I'm certain I've seen all of Dishonored 2 because I watched Andy play it. There's the company house. That's where the stovepipes are if we wanted to hang out with them. But who wants to hang out with people whose fucking thing that they like is a top hat? Hey, don't hit me. Thanks. Let's head out. Let's pack up our game and head out north by northwest. Let's send out our bad friend, see where we're going. Billy was the main character in the Death of the Outsider DLC. She's baller, and I love her. Oh, there's a question mark ahead of us. I like question marks. It could be anything. It could even be a boat. How's my sound balance, by the way? I kind of feel like I'm shouting a bit. Oh, this is what the question mark was. It's the wreck of the Roanoke. I think the game is quiet, really? Okay. Katie's saying it sounds about right. I could turn it up, but it already sounds a little jumpy in my ears. The sound balance seems fine, but if you feel like you're shouting, there's room to boost you. How about that? Maybe that's better? That might look better. I had ducked my my mic audio a little bit because I thought it was peaking, but that looks like that's not the case anymore. Alright, cool. The wreck gleams with frost, its windows dark, its engines silent. Perhaps something of value lies within. So, here's another thing that we have to take care of. You see this bar here on the left of all of our UI? It's a skull that's slowly filling with red. This is our fear. we don't want it to get high. Bad things happen when the fear goes big. And if we choose to mourn the dead, it will lessen our fear somewhat. Or we can... There we go. Or we can roll a 20% die to try and signal the wreck and make something else happen. We're just going to mourn this dead. Our terror has fallen. It's called terror, not fear. Okay, subtle difference. A simple ceremony, doffed caps, a few words, and a gloomy silence, but it helps. The only decency in the skies is that we bring it to ourselves. Oh, pardon me, friends. Just making this delivery. Out here to Magdalene's, wherever that is. Presumably this way. What has a 20% chance of happening? It's been long enough for me to play this game. It's been long enough since I've played this game that I don't actually remember what a lot of the little interactions end up doing. So what we were trying to do was signal the wreck to see if anyone was still aboard. I don't know what would or would not have happened if we were successful. But I don't think we would have been. And I didn't want to run that. This is where our flashlight comes into play, because sometimes it is a little difficult to tell what's foreground and what's background. But if your light goes over it, then it's background. And if it blocks the light, then it's something you can crash into. A low chuttering, the throaty grumble of a sleeping cantankereye. Oh, that's good. I like that whatever it is, it's sleeping. Sleeping sounds good. Am I still about on track? Oh, there's apparently something with a diamond up this way. Oh, we can't get this, I don't think. Yeah. We could mine it with R if we had a mining tool, but we don't have a mining tool. Since we've stopped anyway, let's send our bat friend out. Your scout relays its findings. Oh, there's something down there. That's probably it. Go back around. Wow, I should have done that in the first place. Hey, it turns out that scouts are useful when you're exploring. Anyone ever found this out? I think I might be the first person to know this thing. This great deep knowledge about how scouts are good when you're traveling in unknown territory. Brilliant mind, me. Breaking, bat is good. I think bats are neat. I also think bats are neat. A carmine glow burns in the dark. Magdalene's, where you can buy comforting lies. Oh, it's a very red house. A new port. The crew are eager to see what it has to offer. I like it when they say their thing, the screech they do. Well, first of all, let's go to the shop. Yeah, pending prospect seeds from Magdalene. So, we bought these for, I think, 40 a piece. We're selling them for twice that. That's pretty good. Puts us at 240? Yeah. We also gained 150 experience. There's some asshole selling souls. So that's good. I don't think I need souls for anything right now. I do like this text. The Spirifier is selling as an unlicensed dealer in souls. This one has a perpetual sniffle. He finds a quiet corner to show you a sample of grubby bottles. Wispy shapes coil inside. See? He sniffs. Finest porcelain. I swears every one of them was teetotaler church going. Good, don't need that. Thanks. See what's going on in the House of Small Comfort. Magdalen's is the closest thing many Skyfarers have to a home. It offers services to alleviate the strain of a life spent too close to the stars. We can treat our terror, which we don't really have. We can treat our nightmares, which, again... So nightmares is this smaller bar over here to the left of the terror bar. If the terror reaches the top, we get a nightmare. But there are some things that can just give us nightmares straight up. Those are bad. You don't want them. And here's where you come if you have them. You can get rid of them. What's in the House of Small Comfort? The glass spires of Magdalen's pierce the clouds like swords. Shadowed figures can be seen moving through the gleaming corridors, their identities obscured by the huge glass. Crowds of Skyfarers, ministry officials, and merchants mill about the forecourt in varying degrees of distress. All watch the clock set in the great clock tower, waiting for their appointed hour. Let's write a report. Make that money. Speak to an attendant. The staff at Magdalen's promise treatments for the deleterious effects of the high wilderness: loneliness, desperation, folly, regret, and love. Ah, yes, the 5 genders. Tag herself, I'm desperation. An attendant in the foyer schedules appointments with the aid of a hefty daybook and a very accurate clock. They are eager to explain the procedures and the rules that govern here. This is a hospital for the spirit. Our staff will become the person you need. Here you may say farewell to a doomed comrade, resurrect an old love, spar with a defeated enemy, all for a fair price. But do not overindulge. Our services are to heal, not to become an addiction. Waltz can be heard from the upper floors. Someone has requested the recreation of the Sapphire Jubilee. Let's talk to the patients being discharged. Some leave smiling, others weeping. No one can resist looking back behind them, even just for a peek. The amenable host strides past, ignoring the crowd of admirers that follows him through the hallways. Seek a meeting with the amenable host, sure. Unfortunately, the host has many calls on their time, and you have yet to become a known face around these parts. Perhaps once you have availed yourself of the services, they will have time to speak. Well, you don't really need them, so let's not. So let's go. A bunch of explosions off to the side. I think 2 people are fighting. Oh yeah, there it is. That's a, here's the Tackety Scouts and the company men. Having a scrap battle. Ooh, company is not having it their own way. They're just kind of stuck in there. Oh, it's actually 2-on-1. That's real bad for them. I should get out of the way of this combat that's happening. I'm just gonna take these. I got some sort of teapot. Yeah, hey y'all. Are you gonna take that glowy thing? Cause listen, if you don't need it, I'm just gonna go ahead and loot this. It's nice that NPCs are fighting each other sometimes and not always you. Yeah, there's a really nice world. How do I want to phrase that? The world is alive, she says, using the fucking basest ass bullshit that any game dev has said for the last 30 years. The things that are going on in the Reach go on whether you're there or not. You can influence them, but these people fucking hate each other and they will attack each other on sight. So if the spawns happen that way, they happen that way. The massive guns of the Dreadnought have finally fallen silent. The Hulk hangs in the firmament like a shed spider's skin in a web, viewed from the vantage of the fly. Its sides are scored and open, its windows shattered. Smoke billows from its blind eyes. London will not see what transpires here. We can raid the hold. The dreadnoughts are the bane of all smugglers. They surely keep their best finds to themselves. After all, wouldn't you? We could rummage the kitchens, which might gain us supplies. We have enough supplies to get back to New Winchester, which is kind of what I'm interested in right now. Or we can aid the engine's lockbox. I like the idea of unusual cargo. See what happens there. What could it be? A sheaf of papers, crisp as freshly ironed shirts. The pages are stiff as a new clerk's collar and thin as a spurned lover's parting smile. The ink is rich and jade. The permissions are varied and wide-ranging. The signatory is surprising. You now have one ministry-stamped permit. A permit to do what? Basically whatever. So that's a good. Can we stop at Magdalen's? No. We were just there. Listen, if you wanted to partake in some soul-cleansing roleplay, you should have thought of that before we left. I like that I just totally got away with that. Sometimes if you loop the trains too soon before too soon after the fight's done, they will just kind of turn on you. Which seems unnecessary. Just burn right back to New Winchester. We have all this money in our pockets. Let's see what we can do with it. I've just realized that this first stream, like this literal whole 2.5 hour stream we're doing tonight, is basically going to be the tutorial, and then we're going to get into the wide shit. Oh, a marauder. Gonna shoot you. Don't worry about it. Oh, there's another one over there, but it's fine. They don't appear to be interested in helping their friend. Okay, good. The crew of the Marauder lie dead in the corridor, killed not by your guns, but knives and small arms fire. The only survivor is the captain, locked in the brig with a bottle of brandy. Chalk eyes stare back from every wall. When he ran out of chalk, he began scraping them in with his fingernails. Little remains of them, bloodied stumps. Seen this before, Captain, says a crew member, grasping your arm. Sky madness. Magdalen's can treat it if you'd be bothered to take the poor soul. This will begin a short quest. Magdalen's is right there. Let's help them out and not do the other thing that it's asking us to do there. The crew wrap the sky-maddened captain in blankets and then secure them tightly with belts. It takes 4 to transport him safely to the locomotive. He might not be happy restrained, but it should keep him from harm until you get him to Magdalen's. With the captain secured, you have a moment to see whether there's anything worth on his locomotive before abandoning it to the wilderness. Got a tale of terror. We could loot the hold, see if we can gain some more unusual cargo. Or we can gain hull that's going to repair us, but we're at full, so let's just get some cargo. A distressingly odored barrel. You've gained 3 fuel. Good. Let's make that money. We got a whole 7 fuel now. We're basically invincible. We can travel anywhere. I mean, we might have to eat each other on the way, but, you know. We're not going to be dead in the water or the sky. So how's this treating everyone? How y'all liking this? because I enjoy this game a lot. The reason I didn't, like, jump on it before is that I wasn't sure how good of a streaming experience it would make. I'm curious to know more. That's the thing, is that it's a really cool universe, and there's always a new thing to learn about it. Magdalen's House of Small Comfort. Deliver the Sky, Madam Captain. And he says, I like this a lot. Good. Glad people are enjoying themselves. The pacing reminds me a little of Starflight of all things, which I had the same worry about, but this is actually really engaging without requiring 100% of my attention 100% of the time. The nurses bring a stretcher to carry the Sky Madam Captain from your train. He'll receive the care of Magdalen's finest, at least Magdalen's finest with a sense of charity, given that he has nothing on him to pay for their manipulations. We've lost our terror, gained some experience, and now have a vision of the heavens. I really like that there are, this was the same in Sunless Sea also, but I like that we have, items that are tradable or in some way, commodities that are completely metaphysical. It's a fun little thing. Oh, a meeting with the amenable host, the founder and master of ceremonies at Magdalen's. He has requested you by name. You can also bleed terror by doing good deeds. Yeah, we bled a little bit by just giving the shattered ship we ran across a proper send-off. Are you about to speak to the manager? I am, but it's not like that. Hi, Riz. An attendant escorts you through the dazzling violet corridors. The host's red door is always open. The attendant leaves you just as the clock begins to chime. The amenable host reclines on a couch of crushed velvet, a goblet of sparkling wine in his long fingers. Somewhere in the tower above him, the great clock ticks away. As a policy, the host's atrium is always open to guests. He is available to hear opinions, friendly criticism, and suggestions. Today, he has a headache. Listen to the amenable host's requests. His voice is soft and sibilant, like butter melting in candlelight. The guest has become rather too attached to a particular attendant. He always requests He always requests the same attendant here in the exact same line. The amenable host's lip curls in distaste. He reiterates the aim of Magdalen's, a place of healing and respite. It was not meant to feed obsession or self-indulgence. This guest brings sickness. I would have him purged. I have a dossier on our guest, if you're interested in helping. An unwelcome truth, the amenable host would like to talk to you about a difficult guest. Let's take the dossier, sure. The host smiles indulgently. I'm so glad you want to help. He produces a thin sliver of pages and passes them to you. I'd recommend taking on the role of one of our attendants. That way you'd be playing the role of someone. The amenable host sighs, reaching for his goblet. He knows all of our attendants by voice now. Someone new. So let's go find them. Deal with the lachrymose guest. He stands on the threshold of the treatment chambers, his hands trembling. The attendants on duty have been informed about your... How do you plan to deal with him? The treatment chamber has been emptied for you, should you wish to adopt a guise from his past. Alternatively, he is standing right there. He does not seem to have noticed you, his eyes instead boring through the doors of the treatment room. Approach this directly. Disguises have caused the poor sod enough trouble. Disguise yourself as his mother. She drove them apart once. An attendant will help you with the wig and makeup, and another with the voice. Disguise yourself as his lover. The attendant normally on duty is more than happy to assist. Anything, as long as it gets rid of him. I know the decision I would make. How do y'all want to go about this? Anyone have an opinion? Or is it saying mom? I'm seeing some other typing happening. So yeah, let's go with mom then. You look just like the faded daguerreotype, down to the teeth. You gnash your jaws reflectively. The lachrymose guest's eyes widen as he enters your chamber. This is a mistake. I didn't ask for this. You never do you? You get to work. When it's over, you doubt he will be returned ever again. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I asked because I wanted opinions. I've played through a good chunk of this game. I didn't finish it because of some reasons. But I've played through a good chunk of it, so I know the decisions I would make and what they lead to. I want to see what other things are, so I want to get other people's opinions. Let's speak to the host and let him know that there was a problem fixed. Yeah, streamer won't ask if they don't want your opinion. Let the amenable host know the lachrymose guest is gone. The host smiles beatifically. Of course, my staff will be pleased. At the risk of our trade with clients, separate identity, delusion, seldom. Sighs deeply, echoing around the chamber like a newly dove. It is a trap any of us could. Face darkened. Here, take this. He fishes around beneath his couch for one of his goblets. It'll fetch a pretty price. Take it. My thanks. Do visit us again. Got $100. And a goblet. Actually, I guess the goblet is representative of the $100. So the $100 is representative of the goblet? That way around. So, let's make our way back town. Xenon says, 1 sec, I'll be right back to have food. That's a good point. It is almost 10 o'clock. We're actually not far from New Winchester, all things considered. So, we're gonna get there. We'll park it, and then I'll go on a quick BRB. I mean, that's presuming we don't get jumped by a couple of motherfuckers like we did on the way back last time. But hey, can't win them all. Nope, sorry, to scratch the mic. The same wreck, or is this another more different wreck? That's the same wreck. That's the wreck we pressed F to pay respects to. Still a little further. I'm really glad I bought a jug of water on my way home today because I didn't think really about how much reading I would be doing. So we're gonna get some drink. Fix myself right up. No, Scout, please don't run into me. Why you gotta be like that? Come on. Like, no one in this blasted sky can drive. The taste of smog and the sound of iron on iron. We are home. So what you might have noticed is that there is a running, like, date. You can see at the bottom left there, underneath our crew and food, not food, but stowage, I guess, readouts. That doesn't come into play too often, but sometimes it super comes into play. So we're going to dock here at New Winchester, and I am going to take a quick BRB. I'm going to stand up and stretch my legs and get some water. I suggest that you do whatever self-care is important to you. We're going to run some ads during the BRB. If you wanted to watch them, we would make a couple of cents. If you don't want to watch them, that's perfectly okay. It's the year 2020. Control what you can. We'll meet you back here in about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll see you then. Hello, I'm back. Let's jump back into this line. We've made it back to New Winchester, and let's see what our newfound fortune can do for us. Let me hit the button that brings us. Yeah, there it is. Nope. We tried to recruit the Devil Man Crybaby, and that didn't go because we didn't have money. But we have so much fucking money now, so let's see if we can't recruit someone. The Fortunate Navigator, who is thoroughly examining our engine's pipework. The Fortunate Navigator is thoroughly examining your engine's pipework. Crucial bit, this. Look how it's been maintained. It's beautiful. Your stoker beams. That was me. Mid-flight patch, too. Officers require a sign-on fee. We can offer him a row on our locomotive. He is eager for a new challenge. This will give you the Fortunate Navigator, a first officer who increases your iron by 6 and your affiliation establishment by 1. Sounds good. Oh, I was about to say, does that say I am spending all of my money to do this? No. You need 100. I have 544. That's fine. You won't regret this, Captain. The Navigator pumps your hand. He is an Imperial, a people descended from the ancient Mongolians and led by the Eagle Khan, whose technology opened the door to the skies. Passing Skyfarer touses the Navigator's hair. Tussles? Tussles. Tussles? What? A passing Skyfarer tussles the Navigator's hair. For luck, the woman says with a grin. The Navigator rolls his eyes. She's from my last crew. They thought I brought them luck. I didn't, but I'm still a good hire. Onwards. Let's have a look at our officers tab. We got our first officer now. Let's click you to actually, bring it up. So if we click into our officers tab, we can actually talk to our people. The Navigator is rarely in his cabin. He's popular with the crew, and card games and drinking sessions occur spontaneously in his presence. He is, of course, never the instigator. We can get to know the Fortunate Navigator if we had a caddy of dried tea, but we do not. He often recounts escapades from his last engine, but rarely shares anything from before that. Perhaps a quiet cup of tea will draw him out. Have a quick conversation. I'm settling in nicely, thank you, Captain. You're a good crew here, and a sharp one. The Navigator already has visited every crew member at their station. You ever meet real bright pennies like this? And you want to dislike them because they're just so fucking go-getting and it reminds you how much of a slovenly asshole you are. But you can't because they're just so nice. It's a lot. I have complex opinions. We can hire on crew to bring us up to 10. Our supplies will go down faster, but we'll move a little quicker. Oh, here's our ambition. This is our end goal. Wealth. It is not enough to be rich. One must be seen to be truly lavishly, importunately wealthy. In order to retire in the manner to which you wish to become accustomed, you require 2 things. Suitable property and the admiration or envy of your peers. These are the best security that money can buy. So our first stop along this goal is to purchase the Governor's Manor, which is 5,000 sovereigns. We have 400, and we're about to spend a pretty good chunk of those doing some stuff. So perhaps not. We'll come back to it. Can we get a new engine yet? No, like the next step up in terms of our, train is the Parzival class Courser, which is 1500. And so on and so forth. Can we get any upgrades? Those are around here somewhere. Abraham's Engineering. Let's bring up our train, actually. One of these buttons has a... Oh, it's the hold, right. I don't know why. So here's our train. The Orphean, a spatchcock reclaimed locomotive. We can have 2 guns. We have 1 installed. There's an auxiliary slot that's going empty, a plating slot, and a bridge slot. Cramped quarters would go in our bridge slot and allow us to carry some new crew members. Hey there, Captain Collateral Damage. Thank you for stopping into the stream. I'm just trying to decide what to do with my well-earned millions. We could get a mining array. We came across that thing to mine earlier, and this would let us do that. That would actually be good. That's probably another good way to make money. It is another good way to make money. Mining away is pretty nice, yeah. Bronzewood shielding. Is that going to be all of our money, though, if we do that? It is. So I'll tell you what. Let's not buy any of this right now. Let's find another, like, thing to go do, and then we'll make that money, and then come back and buy this. It'll get you some of those sweet, sweet hours. I don't... Oop, no. Didn't mean to undock. No, please dock. Please dock again, thank you. Let's see what's going on at the bazaar. Monetary munitions, explosives for Lustrum. An opportunity for fearless captain. Sweet Jane's counting house on Lustrum requires 5 crate of munitions in order to enforce a claim against the Windward Company. Remuneration generous. Lustrum lies to the west-northwest of New Winchester. Or Admiral's China, crockery for Port Avon. London's erratic admiral is a tactical genius, but perilously fragile. Unless his daily routine adheres to exact specifications, his inspiration abandons him, and the loss of his tea set in a recent engagement has rendered him entirely ineffective. His batsman, currently recuperating at Port Avon, seeks an exact replacement. He will pay 110 sovereigns for each of up to 5 crates of nostalgic crockery. We have one of those. Port Avon lies to the southwest of New Winchester, but I don't know where we're getting crockery currently. Are we selling that in Victoria Market? No, we are not. We're not selling it in the bank either. Okay, so let's just grab some supplies. Magdalene's didn't sell anything, right? I think they just had fuel. We can look that up on our tab, I think? Yeah, here we go. So this is a quite good feature. Export jumble of undistinguished souls. Oh right, we met that jerk who was selling souls. But we don't need souls for either of those. And Port Avon sells seeds. Oh no. Jumble of undistinguished souls. I guess the seeds were something we got because it's part of the tutorial quest. So I guess let's head out and just find a new place. Actually, let's take both of these, and then we might scrub out on one, but if we find a place that sells either crockery or munitions, we'll make that happen. Let's just go out into the wild blue yonder. Or the wild green yonder? Wild green yonder. That's very nice. Yeah, so I played a little bit of Sunless Skies, which I've said is the prequel to this game. And this one, Sunless Skies, is better on pretty much every level, I think. It's just from a quality of life perspective, it's so much snappier and much more user-friendly. And that is one of the big pieces of it, where all of the information you need is available right there. If we get down to 2 supplies, we'll turn and head back if we haven't found something worthwhile. Is it a crash, or... I mean, something broke. I can see a, like, ship's mast in there. They really did a good job taking Sunless Sea and improving on it. Yeah, exactly. I played, I played a little bit of it, like I said, and I just found myself getting frustrated with a lot of it, and so I just put out the call on Mastodon saying, hey, I like this game. Is there a mod or something I can use to fix some of the problems with it? And everyone who talked to me about it said, just get Sunless Skies. It's the better one. It's the better version. It's smooth like butter is smooth. Not a lot out here. I think I'm hearing an explosion. Yeah, I think I'm hearing a dogfight over here. Do we want to call them dogfights if they're trains? Is that something? Also, the art is much better. Oh, yeah. It's the... Packety Scout really just fucking up the Marauder there. Oh, that's a Marauder. I don't have to care about you. That's not making a choice. There we go. So do you want that, or... No, that's fine. You go in and get your fill, and then I'll just wait for you to go away and loot. That's great. We can rate the safe and get some money. Or we can explore the captain's cabin and seek unusual items. We might get the stuff we need. Oh, nope. The cabin door did not survive the onset of your guns, nor did the captain. You have to tread carefully. The carpet will not be saved. A few scorched documents sit on the bronzewood desk. They make for interesting reading. Apparently, London had need of a few brave captains willing to bring fire to the Tacketies. You would not expected the signatories of the orders. You now have 2 salon-stewed gossip. Fresh. I don't think I have a place to sell that yet. Oh, here's another mining thing. I love salon-stewed gossip as loot. Yeah. It's very good. I think we've seen most of the metaphysical stuff by now. Here amidst the bones of failed sediments, marauders have made their home. Oh, maybe I should back out of here. No, it looks like I'm just going further in. This is an idea. I don't like it here, Captain, an engineer complains. The rest of the crew murmur. She speaks for them, too. You know, good on ya. I'm actually just gonna send my bat friend out. And we'll see what Bat Friend has to say. There's a question mark over this way, but there doesn't appear to be a... port close by. Let's go check out what the question mark is, and we'll head north. Actually, that's a good idea, because if we go north from here, then even if we don't find anything in this chunk, then we can get back to Magdalene and make sure that we aren't just dead in the water sky. I'm gonna keep saying that, I guess. Yeah, I get that you're warning me that marauders are around, but I am trying to, fuck. Well. Aha! I've juked you. And again. Thrust, parry, thrust, thrust, turn. Aha, ho ho. Gotta... There it is. And again. Oh, took a hit on that one, I think. I have learned from my experience. Oh, well... Okay. No, that's great, Bat Friend. I'm glad you found something. I'm trying to not die. The side jukes are really quite good. Hi, Xenon. I'm glad you're back. Okay, good. Glad that happened. Let's go back for some unusual items. The cabin door, we got 2 more salon suit gossip. That's the same text as the last one. Let's see what the other one dropped and if that's going to be any more interesting. We can strip the engine of materials. That's good, actually, because we did take some damage. Your mirror skill will slightly affect how much we repair. We got to the top, though. And now we can explore this shattered engine. The wreck gleams with frost, its windows dark and engines silent. We can warn the dead. That would reduce our terror, but it's probably fine. We can enter through the yawning tear in the hull. We have a 44% chance of success this time. That's better than 20. Right? That's pretty good. Okay, but can you imagine this combat in the we need to go deeper style co-op? The thing you're thinking of is Skies of Arcadia? That's not it. What is it called? Hey, Katie, we played this game once. It's the Guns of Icarus, thank you. Yeah, it's not. It wasn't particularly new player friendly, but it's like that. Let's Katie says, if you already know how to play, it looks very cool, which is true. I thought it was interesting, but we did just keep getting absolutely murdered. Yeah. Yeah, it's got an entrenched player base, you might say. Let's roll on a 44% chance of success. Let's roll on a 44% chance of success. Hey, got there. Your boarding party follows you gingerly through the rent. Your boarding party follows you gingerly through the rent in the wrecked side. The steel bones of the engine groan miserably. You'll need to hurry. Lifting your lamp, you lead your party forwards. We could go to the galley to get some supplies, which we're not super low on. I think we're fine. The magazine to retrieve munitions. That might be good. We need munitions for a quest, I think. Captain's quarters. Captain often keep the most unusual discoveries to themselves. Crew quarters. Any valuables you are likely to find to be modest, but you might be able to sell them to pawnbrokers. So that's just going to be money. Or the engine room for fuel. I think let's take munitions. Yeah, there's a thing. We now have one crate of carefully packed... we now have X1 carefully packed crate of munitions. We only need, what, 4 more? We just have to keep blasting marauders out of the sky. This seems fine. That's super okay. This is what the skies are like. 44%, that's as many as 4 11s. And that's wonderful. Yeah, here's 2 more. Actually, I'm gonna back off and try and hope the other one doesn't notice me. Oh, well, what's this? No, I think he did notice me, though. I think Senpai did notice me. I do keep hitting F. I just kept hitting F, is the thing. Please. Okay, well, that's going okay. No, bat. Please, please come back. Okay. Alright, got one. Let's loot that real quick and then wait for the other. Loot the hold. We got a crate. Hey, it's another packed crate of munitions. That's good. I'm sure nothing will go wrong with carrying munitions on a train that's constantly being shot at. No, it's good. It's good. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, we already had munitions. That's what we're firing. So this is just more munitions. It's perfectly okay. The risk is minimal. You know, you just got to know what you're doing. I wouldn't suggest this to a first-hander, which is what you call it. You do call it that, but we're good. We're a seasoned sky captain. Oh, the Battle of Culverston. That's why it's littered with wrecks. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing to find. Oh, we got a level up. Let's go have a look at that. So, a lot of these are the same. We have the 3 that we didn't take last time, which is to say Scarred, Spell in Prison, or Interlude in Red and Gold. We've now got a Mentor, a Lost Love, or Worse Things Happen at Z. So I guess we got this one specifically because we picked the Zaylor background. So, because I don't remember seeing this in my last playthrough where I was mono-revolutionary. What do we feel like? What do we want our story to be? Gonna take a couple quick seconds to let the chat catch up. Gonna do some sips of my water. It's gonna be great. Zorsing zapping at Z. That makes sense. So let's grab that. Press Z to pay respects. Good. Good. I'm glad we all got there, everyone. The sea does not forgive, and it did not forgive you. The Untersee demands a price from all who zail her. What did they demand from you? A year of your life? You were lost overboard, but the drownies bore you to their city beneath the waves to cavort and delight. After a year and a day, you awoke on the mudbanks of London and wept. Or your home. You returned from a voyage to find your home occupied by strangers. You knew their names and faces, but the place they once held in your heart had been filled by the sea. Oh, I kind of expected this to be like our whole village got marauded, got raided in some way, but no, it's more like, what's the name of that fucking pirate comic inside a comic from Watchmen? Like that. I agree that both of these are worse things. So it gives us some stuff. I'm not interested in that. I want to know what our story is. Would we rather have been cavorting with the people under 2 seas, or like Sebastian the Crab, or do we want to be married to the ocean? I kind of don't think married to the ocean fits, because we were already married to a bat. Crab battle? Crab battle. It broke my knife. Memes from years ago. Go with this. And so we move on. We got something called otherworldly artifacts for that, which are other spendable things. I don't think we have a place to drop those quite yet. Hey, Kristie, I have a bad idea. What if you narrated a Solid Snake? You're right, that is a bad idea. And while I appreciate you bringing ideas to the table, it turns out that was foreground. I can crash into that as it happens. While I appreciate you bringing your ideas to the table, my voice is already going to be going through the ringer because of all the reading I'm going to have to do in this game. So I don't want to double it by being Solid Snake entire time. My perfect Solid Snake approach. David Hayter can jump down 2 wells. Yeah, shallow wells. He does seem like a nice guy. I'm super behind because Plague Inc. hates Twitch. Ooh, no. I'm already doing Snake on your next stream. This seems like we've gone away we shouldn't have gone. We need to turn left, like, as soon as possible. Oh, holy shit. This was bad. Why did we go this way? Look at how bad everything looks. That one just grew tentacles. Hey everybody, we're just gonna go away. We're just gonna go away from here. This is bad, what's happened. Oh, I remember this particular area, says Captain Collateral Damage. You'll find something fun soon. I think I'm fine not finding that fun thing. So, I have played this game before, Captain Collateral Damage, so I know the map's different, obviously, but I've seen a pretty good chunk of the things that are around here in the Reach, and in the next area, in the London portion. And I know what that fun thing is, and I actually do not want to go near it. The trains growing tentacles was a sign from whatever gods there are here. Oh, hey. We just missed a horror. That's good. Probably a smart decision, yeah. So this is my first stream of this game. I intend to do more on Mondays when I do my streams. But I think that going near the horror is probably not what I want this early. This is a star-maddened explorer. So you might be sitting there thinking, Kristie, what's the difference between a star-maddened explorer and a Reach Marauder? And the difference is that the star-maddened explorers try to bum rush you and also have the shotguns. Yep, there we go. Got out of the way. And now we just come up from behind and lay the fuck in. Lead him, for God's sake. Lead him. He never gone hunting before. Okay. We got there. It's fine. I prefer John Madden football. Pretty good. The crew of this weathered engine had been driven mad by the winds and stars and the things that haunt the sky. We can either examine the captain's log, find a sky story, or a tale of terror. We have a 52% chance of success for that, but we don't really need either of those things. We did just take a pretty good chunk of damage, so let's gain our hull back. And continue back this way. Uh-oh. That's not ideal. You are not where you thought you were. The sky is wrong. This is not where you were meant to be. Was it a trick of the mists? Has the wind carried you astray? Have the heavens themselves turned on their axes? We can double back. This will cost fuel and time. Or we can try and press on, push forward into stranger skies, and hope that somewhere beyond you will find familiar territories again. So this one's a roll, which has a 25% chance of success. That doesn't seem good. And then over here we have... This is unlocked when you have Heirs of Terror. And you have not earned the wrath of the burrower below. I don't think I want to be fucking around with anything that has this symbol that seems like a bad plan. And we have plenty of fuel, and we don't have a time clock on anything, so hey, let's just burn some extra fuel and head back. I think the burrow below is a pretty cool guy. They burrow when they're below. I can't fault your logic. If what you like is burrowing and being below, then the burrow below is probably your entity. Right, and it isn't afraid of anything. So that's good. Is it easier to go back to New Winchester, or should we... or Magdalene? I think it's actually easier to go back to New Winchester. Oh, yeah, our supplies are way too low to try and make it to Magdalene, I don't think. That's what I get for summoning too many bats. So just go grab some cheap experience. Figuring it out new stuff, going in this sort of general direction. It's fine. Please don't attack me. But after we're done with this, we actually definitely, for real, really need to go to Magdalene's, because this terror is starting to get untenable. Oh, no, don't hit the rock. Please don't hit the rock. Thank you. Thank you for not hitting the rock. Take your paranoia. Oh. Oh. That's also not ideal. It's fine. Fine. This feeling is familiar, all of a sudden. The feeling of trying to make it back to the place where I want to go. Saying it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, like a mantra. I knew I remembered playing this game. Did I go too far south? Yes, yes I did. We're too far north. I need to go yet further south. While we go, we'll find Trapisto's hurry. Trapisto shouldn't be in such a hurry. That's probably why his settlement crashed. Too Many Bats is my electropunk project featuring noise-modulated Chiropterian sonar. This looks like there should be a way to change altitude. So there's not a way to change altitude. It's all on this plane. There's kind of the next parallax layer below. Ooh, that's not good. I'll talk about the background in just a second. This is happening now. A junior signaler receives a dose of medicinal port in the infirmary after seeing a frozen corpse spin past a window. The experience has shaken him. "The dead are hungry," he says. "We need to make an offering or it'll come back a knocking at the hull." We could jettison some supplies. It didn't take long for Skyfarers to shed this ridiculous old nautical superstition and replace them with ridiculous new ones. Still, better keep the crew happy. We can reprimand him. We can double back for the corpse and loot the corpse. The search will cost fuel, but it might prove profitable. Perhaps it has been a pocket watch or a silver brooch or other valuable. Or we can recover the body and transport it for burial. It will be poor company, but it's what you would want to happen if you were found dead in the sky. This will lower terror by 50, so it'll crash it completely, but it will give us nightmares. Don't know how good of a trade-off that is, be honest with you. I don't know what the correct move here is. We could loot the corpse, I guess. That's probably going to raise our terror a little bit. But we have fuel to spare, and we're right near New Winchester, so maybe that's fine? Terror and nightmares are two different things, yes. So the terror is the big red bar that you're seeing fill up. It's not as visible on stream, I guess, because it's smaller, but there is a smaller bar to the left of it with 4 notches. It doesn't fill up in the same way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will drop our terror to almost nothing, but give us 1 out of our 4 nightmare bars, which is real bad. I think we're going to loot the corpse. That's a real bad idea. Okay. Oh, we've lost 2 fuel. I thought it was just going to be 1. So there's that. We've got some money. It's good. I'm glad it didn't raise our terror any. We also have a savage secret. That's also good. Collateral damage. Nightmares are much harder to get rid of and can cause events that increase terror. More stuff is happening because we're running low and everyone knows that we're running low and it feels bad. Due to undermanning, one of your crew cabins sits empty, but a story has taken root among the crew that something sleeps there on nights when the wind howls, something that leaves frost on the bedsheets. Some of the crew have begun raiding the pantries to leave bowls of food outside the cabin door. Your cook complains. We can discipline the crew to prevent the loss of further supplies. We have a middling chance of success there. Force someone to sleep in the empty cavern, which should prove there's nothing to be afraid of. Sleep in the empty cabin yourself to prove there is nothing to fear, but we have really low heart. We are a coward. So that's not it. Or we can let the crew have their superstitions, which gives them solace. I think that's going to delete more lies. We are going to be trying to discipline the crew, I think. We did not discipline that crew. To impose 3 days of half rations on the crew. If they want to waste food, they can experience a taste of the consequences. Abruptly, the bowls of food vanish from outside the empty cavern, and outside, plaintive winds moan. You've gained 5 terror, and the waste waif is displeased with you. I don't know what that means, specifically, but it doesn't sound good. It has its own icon and everything. Here's some more experience. Thank you, Xenon. I'm glad that you know the waste waif is displeased with me. It's not ideal. Says Captain Collateral Damage. Yeah, it feels bad. You took away the waste food. Oh, we could have gone there already. We went too far south. Oh, dunk. Congratulations, you've discovered a new horror. We've discovered 2, apparently. There's the burrower below and the waste waif. I remember the 3rd one because I thought it had the coolest name. But I'm not going to get into it until the game tells us about it. We're, just gonna try desperately to get into port before everything goes even more pear-shaped. So getting to port will lower our terror because our crew doesn't like being in the sky for too long at once. Yeah, so that dropped rather significantly, which is very good. Oh, Mr. Menagerie is passing through New Winchester. Actually, as long as we're here, let's investigate the black box. Captain Whitlick left it to you in the hold of the Orphean. Her will described it only as a black box, a description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It is a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, unadorned, with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. The thing must weigh most of a ton. It stands upright in the corner of a hold where the crew have pushed it out of the way. I noticed that making someone sleep in there was more likely to work than discipline. We were more likely to... It wasn't actually by much. It was like 2%. But I didn't want to... I didn't know what would happen if that went astray, and I didn't want someone to be frost murdered. That seems like it would be bad for morale. Oh, someone almost certainly would have died. Good to know. Good to know. Let's consider what to do with it. Captain Whitlock had a specific request. Whether you obey it is up to you. The last request of Captain Amelia Whitlock was for the box to be transported to a specific address in London. Alternatively, you could perhaps find someone willing to purchase it as a curiosity, and if you knew what was inside, you might be able to command a higher price. Try to remember when Captain Whitlock acquired the box. Captain Whitlock had it brought on board before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then, you know, because you saw the lid and the box carried on board separately and assembled in the hold. It's not empty now. It is sealed, and even heavier than before. But you left for the Blue Kingdom shortly after the box was delivered and made no stops on the way, so whatever is inside the box now, Captain Whitlock found in the Blue Kingdom. We could try and pick the lock. 44% chance of success. That doesn't seem like enough. Examine the box. There are no carvings or inscriptions on it. The join where the lid meets the body is too thin to admit even a knife blade. There are no holes by which light or air might find their way in. It is impossible to inside without opening it. Even the keyhole has been engineered in such a way as to prevent peeking. The recess with the keyhole, as far as you can determine, that is a more recent addition. The stone has been drilled and chiseled away to create space for a modern metal lock. Sell the box as a curiosity. Consult with an academic. We need some more affiliation with the academy than we have, and an uncanny specimen, which I don't believe we have. Find someone who could open it from among your villainous associates. We would need 2 affiliation with villainy. We only have the 1. Let's not deal with this right now. We'll keep that for the future. And in the meantime, let's talk to Mr. Menagerie. That's good. A tattered poster by the station advertises the services of a Mr. Menagerie, purveyor of fine scouts. An accompanying picture displays a tall, cloaked figure, slightly stooped, clutching an array of adorable little beasts to its long chest. The cloaked figure looks up to you as you approach, its garnet-hued eyes gleam from the darkness of its hood. "Scouts?" it rasps, hopefully, its voice like a cleaver on a whetstone. "We trade scouts for things and stories." It leans closer to you. "We're leaving soon." Acquire nothing. Won't be purchasing a new scout today. There are scouts here. We would need 2 savage secrets to trade for this. Visions of the heavens we don't have. That's for a star-smitten bat, which is presumably better than the indifferent bat we have currently. There's an intrepid cavy, a large guinea pig with a plumed helmet. We do not have a searing enigma to get that. Or a ratronaut. A rat in the cage at the top of the pile is wearing a miniature sky suit and a very determined expression. A moment of inspiration and a condemned experiment. We don't have any of these things, so we're just gonna say goodbye then, I suppose. Guess we need to go to Magdalen's? You shouldn't, says Captain Collateral Damage. Always pick the best chance of success. Some options are really bad, even if you succeed. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to try and get my crew frost murdered. Excuse me, I'm taking a break to sip my water. I should pour a couple of cough drops into this water. Well, we definitely need fuel and supplies, so let's do that. All of our money is just kind of slipping away. Get 4 and 4. 4 and 4. That leaves us with 1 space left in our hold. Okay. Let's have a look at our chart. We do still have this big unexplored area, which is apparently blocked off by this long wall from the horror. So let's go to Magdalene's and then search to our east and see if we can't find another place to buy munitions and crockery. I think those are the two things we want. The horror TM. I was about to say David Cade. That is not his name. Wrote Hearted Darkness. It was a thing in a lot of high school curriculum. Anyone? Bueller? Joseph Conrad, thank you. Thank you for looking it up. Let's deliver our port reports to the Endurance veteran. We got 100 monies. And I think that's good. Oh, we can get an otherworldly artifact here, but we already have a couple. Or we could get a Savage Secret. So we get gratitude every time we deliver a port report. And we can trade those in for things that the Tacketies have access to. But I don't think we need any of them now. So let's just move on. Gonna go to Magdalene's, get our fear deeply decreased, I hope, and then find a new port. Off to adventure, into the darkness. Long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming. Never dared to dream. You know, the Raven. I used to have this recording that I got off of Kazaa, of Christopher Walken reciting the Raven with some, like, mild background audio. I'm pretty sure it's still findable on YouTube, and it's absolutely amazing if you want to spend, like, 10 minutes doing that. Oh, here's another Marauder. Fuck you, Dave. Hey, Dave. Hey, there we go. Uh-oh, no, don't... Okay, hey, we managed to not juke directly into the path of the bullet. Good for us. Let's get some cargo. Solid crate. It's full of unseasoned hours. That's good. I remember Christopher Walken reading The Raven, says Katie. His manner of speaking makes it fascinating. I think The Raven is a fascinating thing anyway, but yeah. It's, it brings something to the table. Is this still the same wreck? I think it might be a new wreck. Force opened the doors to the hold. Frost has locked them, but a pry bar makes an effective key. 61% chance of success. That sounds good. And if we get some extra terror, we're on our way to get that fixed anyway. So let's give it a go. Nope. Aw, dunk. Your crew attach tables to the wreck to hold it steady as they pry apart the doors. A sudden gust of wind rocks both vessels, and the young man straining at the pry bar slips. He cries out, his hand mangled on a torn edge of metal. He is likely to lose his fingers. The treasure you retrieve from the hold will be little to comfort him. Right, but we got in, though. And we got some fuel. We have to drop some stuff because we're too full. Let's drop one of these. Jettison. Thank you. Bullets go into the void. When bullets miss, do they go to bullet hell? I mean, it depends. I'm really iffy about the Mass Effect series. She said, apropos of nothing. There is one sequence in Mass Effect 2 as you first get onto the sort of hub space station where a superior officer is talking down a couple of recruits at his command who fired a missile without a targeting solution and proceeded to just talk them through the science of how that missile is just going to go because there's no gravity in space to affect the missile, and then eventually it will crash into just whatever's in front of it, making, as he says, Sir Isaac Newton the deadliest son of a bitch in space. House of Small Comfort. The keepsake market? Was this here last time? An illicit stall has been set up near the port where the doctors and nurses of Magdalen sell the property off of captains in their care who require expensive stays. Oh. Get some crew. We did just lose a crew. This will reduce a significant amount of terror. That sounds good. Cost 50, but that's fine. We were going to spend money on this anyway. Your terror has significantly fallen. I don't think we can do that twice. Yeah, it just went away. Write a port report. And... we not... the host is melancholy today, not to mention irritable. He has a job for you, he says, his voice rich with unhappiness. Oh. I admired your discretion, he sighs. You have seen the dangers of our work upon those who serve. Yet we are not immune to self. He draws your attention to several paintings. My regulars have, at various points, requested I be a prospector on most heir to a fine house and prosper, a titan of industry and investor. Very specific requests, and I have vivid memory of being all. Yet all cannot be true, surely. He presses a locket in his hand. This bears my image. If anyone remembers. I can't remember who I was before. If I could be other than I am, I'd like to know. The amenable host wishes you to recover his identity. Travel to any of Lustrum, New Winchester, and Port Prosper to begin. Good. We'll just keep that in our back pocket. Along, I suppose, with the locket. It'll be a locket pocket. Oh, here we go. Solace Chambers. Treat your terror, please and thank you. Request a treatment for loneliness. The high wilderness is a savage and lonely place. We'll spend a savage secret to do that. Spend a salon student gossip to request a treatment for guilt. Or a vision of the heavens to request a treatment for ennui. We have 4 salon student gossip, so I think we can afford to lose 1. The attendant nods solemnly. Congratulations, you are the last entry in the journal. Makes a note in the large red leather-bound book. Day's journal, at any rate. The attendant holds up a candle before 4 doors of mirror glass. 4 of our staff are available today. Each has their own speciality. Their names are not yours to know. Their craft. Smiles suddenly, his teeth thinks unashamed. You know yourself best. Who can tend to your wounded heart? Whoever you need, you can find behind one of these. Who do we have guilt about? Do we have someone from our past? A very boring individual? Someone who once meant a very great deal? Or a former crewman? I'm gonna say a former crewman. We were a Zailer. We probably lost a lot of fucking Zailers. No option for someone we've not met yet. I think that's a different one. There is that guy whose hand we just crushed. We do probably feel guilty about that, too. Let's go with the former crewman. He is waiting in the shadows of a room laid out like the mess hall of your local. Fingers tremble on the railings. The rancor in his eyes is exactly as your. What did you say that day? What did you do? There's no hiding from that gaze, no illusion of lives, contact, weight of that load. Not speak. Or briefly, without terror. Did it. Got there, everyone. Hooray. Our terror dealt with. Let's see where we were gonna go to the east here. See if there's stuff around. So let's do that thing. We'll get out a little ways into the black and then send out Katie out to scout the area. How much does Magdalene's counseling cost? There wasn't a monetary value attached to it. We were trading salon stewed gossip, which we had gotten a couple of. There were other treatments which required different payments. They all do about the same thing. It kind of depends on what you feel like spending. Your scout reports a successful mission. There's a question mark up there. That's not a port. That's not a port at all. Go a little further then. Further out and further in. Taking a sip of this water while we go along. Moving right along. Put loose and see free. This place feels very fairful. You're not wrong. Oh, there's some sort of graveyard here. What's that? It does just say something brave. That might be just a wrecked ship. Yeah, there it is. Maybe we could make some money off of the SS here. The wreck gleams with frost. Its windows dark. Yeah. 44% chance to go through this yawning tear in the hull. I think that's how we lost our last crewman. But hey, the same thing can't happen twice in a row. We got there. Get supplies, get munitions. I know we need munitions, so let's grab munitions. Oh, we've gotten 2 carefully packed crates of munitions with a total of 4. So, drop a few, I guess. That's a bad idea. Oh, we got 2, so we actually need to drop of those. Oh, well, and there was a marauder hanging out waiting for someone to eat. Yep, we're just gonna no, not like that. We're just gonna, well, we're just gonna do that. Okay, good. Good, got there. I'm sure nothing bad will happen when you fail that challenge. Yeah. You lost the last crewman on an iron challenge to open a door. Yeah, but that was a Veils challenge. It's almost exact. It's almost very different. Our hull is full, so I don't want to seek unusual items. Let's just go for the money. Gained 29 sovereign. And you still didn't find anything, huh? I guess this isn't the way we need to go. Let's go further north. If we go a little bit north and then send out the scout and then it's still nothing, then we can just go back to Magdalene and figure it out there. And a little bit further in. A lot of snow up this way. That's fun. I like the snow. And... no, just still more question marks. Okay, so let's go this way and loop around back to Magdalene. Actually, we can hit those question marks since they're right here. Oh, that one's changed away from a question mark, but I can't tell what it is. Ooh, actually, I think it's a horror. Well, there's this. Miners dug too deep into this world, led disturbing a disgruntlement of tank. Oh shit, dicks. Okay, nope, that's fine. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, calm down. Hey, calm down, Dave. It's absolutely a horror. You can see my fear just rising out the gate just by being near the dang old thing. I'm just gonna leave you to whatever gods you serve, bud. We're going away from you. Aw, dunk. It's probably fine. Oh wow, is it 11 o'clock already? Oh crap. So I guess we'll get to Magdalene's and Hits? I guess that's where we are as people? Let's send out the scout one more time and see if we can, like, desperation, find a, another port around here. But no, it is just Magdalene's that we're looking for. Oh. We're gonna leave that alone, too. A lot of good fresh folks out today, is what I'm hearing. Just really a lot of things going on here in the north. Gonna slide into safe haven here. Ow. Okay, we made it back to Magdalene's side. Appear to be selling hours. Which doesn't matter because it is time to quit. It's 11 o'clock. I've been going for a while now, and I need to go to bed. So I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna hit this button that quits. And then I'm going to hit this button that goes to our outro screen. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I've been Kristie, one of 5 women who's streaming on this channel, along with my wife Katie, who's been in the chat with us, and her sisters Annie and Alice and Sue. We stream almost every day on this channel, and if you wanted to slap the follow button around, you can see when we go live. Let me run down our schedule for you so you know what you're getting into. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That's going to be Andrea playing a game that she says is a surprise, but she knows what it is. Oh, she's revealed it? I didn't hear. What is it? Gotham City? Arkham City. Oh, hey, the second of the Batmans. That's good. She had a lot of fun playing Arkham Asylum. So tune in for Arkham City as Annie starts it tomorrow. Wednesday will be Sue playing more Hand of Fate 2, which has been also very good. Thursday will be Alice with something. Did you know what yet? Chrono Trigger. Oh, right, I knew that. I've even said it recently. She's going to be playing Chrono Trigger. The old game Chrono Trigger. The very good old game Chrono Trigger. Come watch her play Chrono Trigger. Friday will be Katie playing more Chimera Squad, the new XCOM game. Saturdays we don't stream. Sunday is our community day. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but we have some ideas. Watch this space. And then Monday will loop back around to me, where I will be doing more Sunless Skies, because I'm enjoying this, and y'all seem to be enjoying this, so why the hell not? If you felt like supporting us monetarily, you could do that by throwing bits at us or subscribing, as so many of you have. Thank you so much for support. We appreciate it. And if for whatever reason you do not wish to monetarily support us, that's fine. Just keep showing up. Tell your friends how cool we are. If you're chatting in the chat, we love seeing you. If you're lurking, we love that you're here, enjoying the show. Please just keep coming back. We like people. We do this for an empty room, but it is much more satisfying to have people here. What's left? There's something else I need to say. Oh, we have a stream team. Andemonium, Riz Plays Games, Xenon Fiber, In the Land of the Rising Sun, and Bad Road. All great streamers worthy of your time and attention if you're looking for other people to follow. And we have YouTube VODs at youtube.truck.community. That is the quick way to get to them. Or I guess if you wanted to, you could just search for Lily on YouTube, but we asked Alvaro to go through the trouble of making us a custom subdomain. It seems a shame not to use it. Thank y'all so much, and until I see you next time, stay safe.